Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or afternoon if you're actually in the mid-Atlantic of the United States, and welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Bowling League Spike Magazine Trophy, week number 2. It's week 2 of 9 weeks of regulation play in this second competition of the season. We have a classic matchup for you here. We got a lot of games today. We're gonna get started with Skaven versus Undead. It's going to be Rodentia versus Harlequins, B.B.F.C, Spire versus B.B. Nut. Let's take a look at the standings after week 1. In Division A, War Horsemen's juxtaposed Juggernauts, the Chaos Renegade team, will be in first place with their win against the Television Terrors 2-0 last week. In second place, the Real American Heroes, coached by Dead Fred, a Dark Elf team. They are 1-0-0 with their win in week 1. The Dead Poets in third, S. Beaver's Undead team. We're going to get tonight started in Division B with first place. Who else? The league champion, Doug the Minotaur's Orc team. The White Skull Windbreakers in first place, winning their week 1 matchup, followed closely behind by our new Wood Elf team, Elphitis Australis, coached by Eric. They're in second place with their win. And look at all of these draws in Division B. Harlequins B.B.F.C, coached by B.B. Nut, sharing third place with a whole bunch of coaches after week 1, after a number of draws. You'll notice that there is one team in each division who has a record of 0-0-0. That's because they get a bye. They had a bye in week 1. They'll be playing here in week 2. Every team plays every other team in the division. And because there's an odd number of teams, one team's gonna have a bye week. It's not a bye week as in a win or anything. It's just you're not playing that week. More importantly, coaches need to really keep in mind that if they have an injury, that bye week is a null week. They're not gonna recover their injury during that week. There we go. Oh man, what? Computers. I won't go into the details of what's going on. I'm getting a low memory error on this other application. It's driving me bonkers. Anyway, we have so many. You know what? Even before we talk about the team, let's talk about the schedule here. Five games! 5 games being played today. We're gonna get started with this game coming up in just a few minutes. And then we're gonna take a break where we'll cut the stream off after this game. Come back at 8 o'clock p.m. tonight. That's Eastern Daylight Time. UTC -4. That will be the I Want to Be Like Doug versus Mr. Yuck game. And then I think what we're going to do is after that game is over, we'll head on over to the Cenozoic Park versus Juxtaposed Juggernauts match. That's a Division A matchup. That starts at 9 o'clock. It says unaired, but I am not BB Nut. But we'll catch that. We'll probably catch that in mid competition, depending on how long that Mr. Yuck game goes, and then we will finish out the night with the Stairway to Nuffle versus Street Fighter Turbo Max game. That will be at 10:30 p.m. tonight. Again, Eastern Daylight Time. It's UTC -4. I mean, I could play Tekken 8 for 3 hours. All right, the home team to get started here on this massive Thursday evening for Blood Bowl. Rodentia coming in a TV of 1,160,000 gold. They have a full 11-player roster. They have 2 blitzers. The blitzers, of course, have the block skill. One has leveled a number of times, has Mighty Blow and Tackle. He has the big guy, the Chinchilla Rat Ogre. A level 2 Rat Ogre picked up guard naturally, has Mighty Blow and Frenzy. Has a thrower, 3 of the 4 gutter runners, and the rest are linemen. He does have wrestle on one of the linemen. Not a bad pickup for a fragile player. 4 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls, 1 oppo. He'll be up against BB Super Thursday. That's right. He'll be up against the Harlequins BBFC, coached by BB Nut. Also a full roster of 11 coming in a TV of 1,010,000 gold. 2 ghouls, 2 mummies, 2 blitzers, and the rest are linemen. Pretty typical undead lineup. 2 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. Of course, can't field the apothecary due to these players having regen. How do the 2 teams play tonight? Well, you've got Adge versus Bash, I would argue. The Skaven team here, Very, very agile. You can see with these gutter runners at a 2+, and super, super quick. The gutter runners with an MA of 9. They all come with dodge. One is a blodger as well. He has the thrower to keep that passing game an option. He's going to be up against this undead team with a lot of strength in those mummies and mighty blow in those mummies. He's got the pair of blitzers. Doesn't have a lot of other skills, however, because BB Nut just jumping into the season in this competition, so it's a fresh team. But still, undead, pretty good. Pretty good right out of the gate. Rodentia's not going to want to go toe-to-toe. He's not going to want to base that team. On offense, he's going to want to keep away from the defense, and he can do that by spreading that defense out, and you can spread that defense out in a couple of ways. One way to do that is send those gutter runners flying down pitch, and now the defense has to cover the gutter runners and the entire width of the pitch. Another way to do that is just to spread out your offense. You spread out your offense, that spreads out the defense, and now BB Nut's not getting the assists he wants for those 2-die blocks with the block skill, or maybe even the 3 dice with the mummy. He doesn't want to go base to base because he's so fragile here. AV 8+ is not a lot. Naked Mole Rat with the head injury brings him down to an AV of 7+, and if Mighty Blow gets applied to Naked Mole Rat, that's now a 6+. Very scary, very dangerous for one of your gutter runners. He does have Chinchilla the Rat Ogre. This can be used to great effect with Mighty Blow, with Frenzy, with Guard. Guard means that Chinchilla can be doing work on the line without having to risk the roll. He'll be giving the assist all the time, regardless of whether he's blocked or not. Mighty Blow and Frenzy means that he can push players out of position. If he gets the knockdown, it's an easier time to break armor. He will have to be kind of careful, however, because he chose Guard, does not have the block skill, and Frenzy without block can be a little scary. You roll 4, maybe 6 dice, and you don't have the block skill. Maybe you're up against a player that does. Oh, that can be risky. That can be risky. Welcome to the Modor, excuse me. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so that's what that's the way he's going to play. Once he gets the ball, he'll score whenever he wants. Basically, lots and lots of speed. The defense is going to have to shut that down by hunting these gutter runners. BB Nut has the Harlequins B.B.F.C undead team here. These ghoul runners, these are the guys that'll be handling the ball. What BB Nut, I keep wanting to call the coach B.B.F.C. What BB Nut's gonna want to do on offense is get the ball in the hands of a ghoul runner, cage that ghoul runner up, and then start trying to poke open holes in the defense. Poke open those holes, shoot the gutter runner, shoot the ghoul runner through, keep him safe for a turn, and then you can score. Of course, he doesn't have the speed here, which he might have against some of the more bashy teams that we see in this competition, but MA7 is still enough to get into scoring position fairly deep down pitch. You only need 4 spaces across the line of scrimmage to do it. 17 going to have to defend against this by having a solid secondary intact. He'll want 1, probably 2 gutter runners back. Those gutter runners only have a strength of 2, so if a ghoul gets by him, 1 gutter runner probably not going to cut it. But 2 could do the 1-die block, 1 to lock him down, to get the 2-die. With a blitzer is an option as well, but he needs that secondary to prevent the ghouls from getting by him when BB Nut inevitably opens up a hole in this deep. BB Nut's gonna want to mark. He's gonna want to go basing players. 2 players with Mighty Blow, 3 with block. I see him late. I gotta kick over to the game here. 3 with block, 2 with Mighty Blow, and of course the mummies have strength 5. Some of the best big guys in the game because they don't have a nega trait. These mummies are, watch all the ghouls, the mummies, the blitzers, all key players on this roster for BB Nut this evening. And you really want to watch those mummies. Those mummies can be really difficult to deal with if BB Nut's allowed to keep them free to move. They're very slow with just 3 MA. If he puts them on the line, that means he's banking on the fact that the play is going to be at mid-pitch. Otherwise, he'll pull them off the line so he can keep them mobile to get them into the drive wherever will be most effective. Now, Spire might be able to lock down a mummy in a key turn to prevent the mummy from doing an important thing, such as blocking down the ball carrier, let's say, and he'll be able to protect his ball carrier for turn. He has enough speed to shoot down the pitch and score. But it can be real tricky. It can be real tricky when you start to lose players. As a coach, coaching a real fragile team. What on earth are these pipes? This is a busy pitch. This is a busy pitch. All right, enough yammering. Enough yes! Thank you! 150 gold in petty cash is what he got. He picked up the wizard. First wizard of the season. B.B.F.C is going to get an extra reroll on the kickoff event. Shallow kick to get this game underway. Ball's going to be kicked to the opposing 6-yard line. And now, the Harlequins B.B.F.C will be on offense to kick off tonight's Blood Bowl action. 4 games. 4 games tonight. Marks Hamster, the right defensive tackle. Marks behind the player, trying to block this player off. Gets a 3-die block, got a pal. Looking for that 8+. Got a stun. 7+ with Mighty Blow. He'll be trying to get 3-die blocks on these mummies as much as possible. That sounds very obvious, right? It's like, of course, you want to get as many dice as you can. The mummies with that strength of 5 makes it a lot easier to do. Here's the second one. Got a pal here as well. 7+ with Mighty Blow. Doesn't get anything out of it. But it can be tricky. It can be tricky to set up the assists that you need to get those 3-die blocks. After taking the blocks, he's going to reposition a number of players. Going for the blitz on Jurtle. This is the injured lineman. Got a pal here. Breaks armor, maybe. He did. I keep forgetting that's a bug. I got a stun out of it. Good job. 2 stuns on 2 armor breaks. Ball pickup for the 3+ pickup. Works out. The ball's going to advance to the 4-yard line in the hands of Louis Lina, the number 2 Ghoul runner. Turn one back to Rodentia now. I didn't see who won the coin toss, but I imagine Rodentia did. As being a fragile team, you tend to want to start on defense just to ensure you get all 11 players on the pitch. Otherwise, you may see yourself in the second half fielding 6 players. All right, getting started with a big guy blitz. Gets the pal, number 9. I love those royal blue dice. Rodentia has to be careful of the wizard here. Has to be careful of his positioning. The wizard can do 2 things for you. One, it can shoot a fireball. And the fireball hits a 3x3 square, say something like this. Right, this whole 3x3 section. Every standing piece in that section has to roll a 4+. On a 4+, or has to roll a d6. On a 4+, they'll get knocked down and they'll go through the armor breaks as normal. Great way to try to crack open a tight cage. The other thing you can do is, I think it's called zap now. It used to be a lightning bolt. You can zap. You can turn an opponent into a frog. The odds are much better on doing that. It's just 1 space. Once that opponent's a frog, they can't handle the ball. If they have the ball will bounce. But they still have their tackle zones. So, but I think the frog's strength 1, so it's almost always a 3-die block on them. Turn 2. Judge Dredge says, Judge Dredge says, I honestly could never get a handle on Skaven. Opponents always absolutely destroy my rat ogres. Yeah, so the rat ogres, I'm going to say only, quote unquote only. They only have an AV of 9+, so that's average, right? That's average AV. And so if you can get a target on them, you may as well remove them. Dodge push by the mummy blitz. Now a knockdown, doesn't break armor, rolls snake eyes on the armor check. Modor says this pitch is horrible. It really is. I liked a lot of these. I mean, it's thematic for neither of these teams, but thematic nonetheless. Very underworld. But I mean, this is busy. This is busy. Harlequins B.B.F.C with a tight cage on the 6. Shifting a number of players over. Good 50-50 dodge in the left wide zone to pull the lineman back in on the cage. Turn 2 back to Rodentia. It looks like the pitch was built in like a flood zone. And grass just refuses to grow. And now all you see is like this sewage plumbing and stuff as the as the ground has washed away. Two-die block against the mummy. Good knockdown here. Knocking down these mummies is huge because they only have an MA of 3. Remember, it costs 3 MA to stand up in this game. So these knockdown mummies, when they're prone, all they can do is stand up. Otherwise, they have to roll dice for rushes. So if this mummy wants to stand up and blitz, that's a rush. Good 2+ dodge by Naked Mole Rat. The number 7 gutter runner over in the right wide zone. And now sending Vol. The number 2 blitzer down pitch. Could apply pressure to the cage. Could be stopping movement of the cage. But also what he really wants to do here is on defense, when you're a Skaven team, it's a really good idea to have somebody in position to score at all times. Because if you can get at that ball, you have enough speed and you have enough capability with a thrower or even... Oh, going for the fireball. Wow! Look at all those die rolls. Didn't get any removals out of it, though. Double skulls in the roll here. Works out to the block skill. Spent the fireball, saw a target, and took it. Got a couple of stuns, including the Rat Ogre. We'll see if he can capitalize on this. Three-high block over on the right side works out due to the block skill. Blocks, you can see right there why the block skill is so powerful. He rolled 2 both down results on the skull. That would have been a turnover unless he had spent a team reroll. But the block skill means that a both down result does not knock you down. The reason why you see block and dodge applied to single pieces in this game as a solid combo is because that means there's only one face on the die that will knock you down at that point, and that's the POW. Cage is going to shift over on the right. Foul on the gutter runner. Got the injury. Well done. Gets called off the pitch for a foul, but this is a good trade. It's going to argue the call. Oh no! Argues the call, and BB Nut thrown out of the game. BB Nut ejected from the game. The coach is having none of it. He says, I don't want to be on this pitch. It's gross. Don't argue with me. Had 5 assists on this foul. That's a good trade. These gutter runners are so important to the Skaven team. When you knock down a gutter runner, it is often a very good idea. Just get that removal, right? Went for the foul, got called off the pitch. And then in this version of the rules, in BB 2020, you're now allowed to argue the call. So if you wish to argue the call, you do so by rolling a d6. If you roll a 6, you successfully argue the call. It's still a turnover, but you successfully argue the call and nothing else happens. If you roll a 1, however, it's still a turnover. Your piece is removed from the pitch. You're no longer allowed to argue the call for the rest of the game, and you get a -1 to the brilliant coaching kickoff event table, or kickoff event on the kickoff event table. Rodentia starting to apply the pressure to the cage here. Sees the Harlequins committing to the right wide zone. They're trying to shut down movement right here and crack the cage open. They got a POW on Wilco Lowe, the number 8 lineman. And now a mark on the ball carrier. Judge Trez. Fun fact, I had a stuffed naked mole rat on my dining table a few years ago. I don't even know what a naked mole rat looks like. I assume it's like a hairless rodent. Rodentia, seeing the cage over here, deciding to have the defense try to close in on this offense and prevent any more movement. Tudai blitz on Vol, the number 2 blitzer. We got in on the back left corner of the cage. Good knockdown here. The Mummy moving back to mid-pitch to lend a helping hand to his fellow Mummy. Repositioning the ball. Ball is on the Harlequins' own 2-yard line, back at mid-pitch. Loose cage, keep this ball secure. And that's the turn. Turn 4 now. Back to Rodentia. Final turn of the first quarter. Sorry, answering a work question. Man, I work from home. I started work early today because of the games that we're playing. So I woke up early, got started early so I could get, my full day in. And now I've got all these games to commentate, which I'm excited for. But boy, we'll see if I'm awake by the end of tonight. Tudai stand-up blitz by Chinchilla. It's a push. Follow-up. Yeah, this is what we're talking about with Frenzy. Wow! And gets re-stunned. This is what we're talking about with Frenzy. So Frenzy's, it's risky without the block skill, and you have to be careful that you don't put yourself into a bad Frenzy follow-up position. So Frenzy says when you take a block, if there's a push, you must follow up. You do not have a choice. And if that first result was a push, you must immediately make a second block. And the same rules apply, except you don't continue taking blocks. You only get a free second block, which can be great when you want to roll dice and start murdering players. The problem is without the block skill, your odds are very different for getting the knockdown. You can see there that he had to re-roll, and the Rat Ogre has the loner skill. The nega trait, I should say, the loner trait. He wanted to re-roll. He spent the re-roll, was able to get through the loner skill. Loner says, if you want to spend a team re-roll, spend it first. Good KO here. Spend it first, roll a d6 on a 4+, you are able to use it, otherwise it's lost. He got lucky, spent the re-roll, but the Frenzy put him into a position where it was now just a 1-die block, skill-less block. That's basically a 50-50. And it didn't work out on the second block and got stunned for his trouble. Remember, against other big guys, like, look at the Mummy. The Mummy has an AV of 10+. That's great. The Chinchilla has 9+, which sounds like it's a mild difference, but it's a significant difference. Rat Ogre got stunned for his trouble, and now they need to figure out what to do with their defense here while their Rat Ogre is picked off, and how to stop the forward movement of the Harlequins B.B.F.C. Good 2+ dodge by number 6. Takes a mark on the back left corner of the cage. Number 6 blitzer there has the block skill. He might just I was going to say, he might just take that block if he doesn't come in here, but he will on the blitz. 2-die blitz. Gets the POW on the blitzer. Can he break armor? It's a 9+. Anyhow, before that whole thing, I got a work question, and my natural inclination was to go answer it, but I was like, wait, I'm streaming Blood Bowl. Can't. Good 3+ dodge. Again, remember, we're talking about D6s here. 2+ dodge, pretty good. 3+ dodge, not as good as it sounds, right? You say, oh, it's just a 3 instead of a 2. That's a small difference. It is not a small difference. It's a significant difference. You're putting 16 2/3% extra risk on top of yourself. So these linemen, double skulls here on the blitz. Re-rolls it into a POW. Good removal here. Another removal. 3-man player advantage. 2-man player advantage for the Harlequins B.B.F.C. You put yourself at a much more significant risk that is not quite perceptible if you're kind of new to the game or new to tabletop games in general. So these linemen, a Spiral will be reticent to dodge these linemen's in the same way that he dodges a gutter runner. This is also why rerolls are so powerful in this game. Again, right? We're not talking about a D100. We're talking about a D6. The comic example, of course, I always use is the coin flip. You flip a coin, if you're looking for heads, you have a 50-50 shot of getting that. But if you are allowed to flip a second time, you've increased your odds from 50% to 75%. It is a big, big difference. And now in this version of the rules, in BB 2020, now that you can spend multiple team rerolls in a single turn, you can have huge turns, right? You can keep the... failed the animal savagery roll. Oh, again got through Loner. Wow. Chinchilla, a team player this evening. Frenzy follow-up, another push. If you have the rerolls and you're in danger of losing momentum, you can have a big turn where you spend 2, maybe even 3 rerolls, and you keep the momentum. Unlike the LRB6 and BB2, where you could only spend a single team reroll a turn. .36 seconds left on the clock for Rodentia. We're keeping the pressure on. I honestly need to just watch these games and learn. I really need to learn. And if you want to watch our past games, the Twitch games are up for 60 days or however long it is Twitch keeps them up. But then we also export all of our games over to YouTube. You can check out our YouTube channel and check out our past games there as well. All the tapes, well, not all of them, but the vast majority of the tapes are there. This is the first time we're dipping into bonus time here. Both teams have a 7-minute, 30-second bonus clock where once they've spent the 2 minutes on the turn timer, they can continue the turn so long as they have time on the bonus clock. But that time on the bonus clock, that is for the entire duration of the game. It won't come into effect tonight since there are there's no overtime in regulation play, but that clock does not reset for overtime. 2-die block with the number 3 mummy over on the left side of the cage, gets a push. And now the blitz. 2-die blitz on number 6, got the POW on Capybara. The number 6 gutter runner. Can't break armor. Chain blocks into position, and now a 2-die block on Beaver, the number 4 thrower. This will be a knockdown as well. That thrower does not have the dodge skill. 88 plus, not great. It stays on the pitch. And now a 2-die block against that Rat Ogre. Gets a push. And there's that hole. We were talking about that in the pregame. There's the hole he's cracked open, and that ghoul shoots down pitch the ball now on the opposing 14-yard line in the left wide zone. He's going to take marks to try to keep this ball carrier safe. Still has number 5 to deal with, but remember, the gutter runner only has a strength of 2. The ghoul has a strength of 3. Foul on another gutter. Gets a stun out of it and does not get called off the pitch. Ref not paying attention this time. Turn 7 back to Rodentia. And there's that mark with that free gutter runner. It's a blodger. Good dodge to take the 2-die blitz. Gets a push. Takes the push here. Rodentia does not have the reroll to spend. They're going to push that ghoul runner off to the sideline. Now they got to get somebody in a position. Yeah, got to get somebody in a position to prevent that positive dodge away to score. Without this player here, that would have been a positive dodge to score. Positive dodge meaning no negative modifiers would have been applied. 2-die block back over in the right wide zone will be a POW. Trying to take out the number 9 lineman. Linemen have regen. If they're the victim of a casualty, they'll roll a d6, and on a 4+, there'll be no casualty. They'll be back in the reserve box, good as new. Every player on this roster, on this undead roster, has regen except for the ghouls. Failed the animal savagery roll by Chinchilla. Chinchilla will lose its actions, lose its tackle zones. Failed the 3+ dodge by the thrower. And now, turn 8 for the Harlequins B.B.F.C. They're looking to score here. We'll see how they try to accomplish this. They've taken out Muskrat as an assist. 2-die blitz on Muskrat. Gets a push. Chain push. Was looking for the knockdown. Didn't get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can do it with 1 dodge and 2 rushes if he wishes. I think he does. Oh boy, good defense here by Rodentia. That animation was just, he just fell. He just tripped. Failed the dodge. You can see there, he didn't get to spend a team reroll because you can't reroll the same die pool more than once. He had the dodge skill. Failed the dodge roll, but the dodge skill gives him a free reroll. Failed the free reroll, and that's a turnover. Rolled snake eyes on the dodge. Rodentia stopping the score by the Harlequins B.B.F.C. here. But unfortunately, they are not going to score themselves. But a defensive turn where you halt the score, that's a good turn. 2-die block on Marcus Smith. The other ghoul gets a push. That's all he can do. That's the end of the first half. 0-0 the score. Well done by Rodentia to stop that score. Looks like they get back one of their KO players. So it's going to be a one-man player advantage for the Harlequins. Going into the second half of this game, they'll be on defense now to start. Rodentia being the edge team, they have the speed. They can score very quickly, but they don't want to. They want to win this game. And that means they don't want to give up the ball too early. What that means is we might see them on offense. Right? How do you stall this out? You'll often see a bash team cage up by the end zone and stall out this way. But if Rodentia does that, he's up against a team that can beat him up. So they'll just start bashing on him and, you know, tearing up his pieces. Instead, what he can do is, when he's on offense, he can retreat and say, come meet me here. And then I'll spend a few turns running by you to score. That's a way he can keep his pieces safe and stall at the same time. There you go, Boot Polish. Von Rue, welcome to the stream. Boot Polish says, why I love this game, there's always a possibility of doing crazy stuff, and if you fail, but you fail easy stuff all the time. Yeah, I have a little speech to give about that later this evening. Yeah, but it's true. It's very easy to, it's very easy in this game to do one of two things, to say, oh, the dice boned me, or to say, oh, I'm the worst human being there's ever been. I do this to myself all the time. Shallow kick here. Solid defense means the defense gets to reposition 3 players and then a D3's worth of players. Rolled a 2 on the D3, so 5 unmarked players will get to reposition here on the solid defense. And it's just not true, right? It's usually not true. Like, of course, this is a game with dice, and the dice can bone you, but there is so much agency in Blood Bowl that if you're consistently losing, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but if you're losing, it means that you're probably making mistakes, and I make them a lot. I am not good at this game. But that, hey, Doug Minzar, welcome to the stream. But really what that means is there's opportunity to learn. And just the same, like if you lose and you say, oh, I'm the worst player ever, which I do a lot to myself, you're not. We have competitions and competitions and competitions, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of data. You can just look back and see that it happens to everyone. Boot Polish, thank you for the bits. Jared Watch says, or it means you're just playing as ogres. You know what? Fair enough. 3+ pickup here for Rodentia. The ball's on their own 6-yard line. Another shallow kick in this game. Don't worry, SP Beaver. I took care of it. Thanks. Yeah, I got to work early, so I'm a bit tired. I got to work early because of the games. Did I block on the right side of the line, get a push? Now 1-die block against the number 9 lineman. This is going to work out. The 1-die block when it's when you're skilled and your opponent is not such a bad play. Just so long as you can make something happen out of it. Like, I would say don't take it willy-nilly, but if it means you're a fragile team and you just get somebody off of you, that's a good use of it. Or if it's a key block, definitely go for it. But again, it's a far cry from an unskilled block. Yeah, there's that frenzy we were talking about where frenzy follow-up, you have to block again, and he's put himself in an unfavorable position here, so it's going to be an attacker down result. Frenzy can be tricky. Got a push on the first frenzy. Frenzy follow-up was an uphill block. That means the opponent gets to decide the dice, and naturally BB Nut's going to choose attacker down. Frenzy's very strong once you get accustomed to it, and can really screw up your game plans when you're not. Even players who have been playing for a long time will screw up Frenzy from time to time. 2-die blitz against the center, has to spend a reroll, and we'll get a push out of this. Harlequins B.B.F.C. staying spread out. Has to screen out this Skaven team. Has to be careful that they don't get by him. Turn 10 now, back to Rodentia. 3 rerolls for Rodentia. Jared looks says also go for it if it's just funny. 2-die blitz on the left defensive tackle here. Gets a pal. Looking for a 9+ if he can get it. Mighty blow in play. Got a stun. It's a one. Really? One-man player advantage? One-man player advantage for Harlequins B.B.F.C. We have plenty of more Blood Bowl tonight. We will take a break after this game, and we'll come back at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's UTC -4 to kick off another 3 games. That'll be a second stream of 3 games back to back to back. Two-die block against Joe Marchant? Joe Marchant. I'm going to call him Joe Marchant. Three-die dodge by Gerbil. Now failed 3-die with the lineman. The second lineman, I should say. And that's a turnover. Remember, those linemen are AG 3+, not a 2+ like the gutter runners. And now, turn 10. The Harlequins, they're going to take a mark on number 6. Rush into position. Take a mark on Muskrat, the blitzer. Wait until these mummies get guard. They will be nightmarish. 2-die block on number 9, Shrew. The left guard, we'll say. It's been knocked down. Two-die blitz. This is a both standing results over in the left wide zone. Elected not to re-roll that die. Keeping Marcus Smith as a safety. He moves back a couple of spaces just in case somebody gets by him. Turn 11 now for Rodentia. So they've decided to go toe-to-toe with this undead team here at the line of scrimmage. Spire is going to have to be careful of scoring too early, but so far so good. Defense still in good shape. Ooh, failed the animal savagery roll on Chinchilla, the rat ogre. That rat ogre is going to be prone over on the right side. That's a lot of strength that's being lost on this team that is not high in strength to begin with. These 2 mummies with strength 5 still in the drive. Two-die block in the left wide zone will be a pal. No armor break on the number 2 Bull Runner. Ball's on the 6. Bupa says, are MA4 players ever in the drive with game? First of all, they are MA3. And they can absolutely be, yeah, because they're so high strength. And then once they pick up guard, maybe even stand firm, like if they can be placed in this spot where the drive's going to be, they're just a big pain in the butt. If your opponent puts them on the line, depending on your team composition, the race you're playing, you know, depending on various factors, you might just tie them up for a turn and just say, like, you know what, you're going nowhere. you're going to stay here, and that might be enough to take them out of the drive. 3-die block back at center pitch now. Breaks armor. There's an injury. Apothecary going to be spent here. That doesn't look like it's... I stand corrected. Apparently a cleaver is going to cure your wounds. Well done, Doctor. 3-die blitz on number 6. Gets a stun out of it. Took the 3-die block with Mighty Blow, bringing that EV down to an 8+. Got the injury. Two-die block on Shrew. Gets a knockdown here. Another stun. Great stun here. Harlequin B.B.F.C. in really good shape. Rodentia might be retreating next turn. We'll see. Turn 12 now, back to Rodentia. 2 players stunned. An ogre, a red ogre, who's just mindless with rage on the ground. 4 players removed. Stand up blitz in the right wide zone, gets a push. Frenzy follow up. 2-die blitz. It's another push. Try to set up for a surf on that lineman. But I'm not sure what he's getting out of this blitz. He might be trying to shift back to the right. Plus, this must be an important meeting. I know all mine are. Aren't they always? Aren't they always super? Yeah, there's that shift back to the right. Well done. I will honestly say, I think at this point in my career, I'm convinced that the only meetings that have any sort of productive value to them are the impromptu ones that I wouldn't even call meetings. They're the ones where like someone's like, hey, I don't really know what's going on here. Can you just lend me a pair of eyes? Those are the ones that matter. All the scheduled ones and stuff, meaningless. It could have been solved in 4 minutes in an email or a message. Eric Lionheart says, why put the ball there next to a 1-dice hit? I think he saw no hope over on the left. Tried to go for the right, and it's going to rely on Blodge. 1-die block over in the left wide zone. Will be a knockdown. Here's a KO. 2-man player advantage for the Harlequins. Rodentia back into bonus time. 7 minutes, 8 seconds left on the clock. The turn discipline by both these coaches is so much better than mine. Failed dodge. And another stun player. This is the Mighty Blow Blitzer. An important piece. 3 stuns on that turn. 2 will be recovering next turn. Turn 12 now for the Harlequins B.B.F.C. Final turn of the third quarter is 0-0 ball game, with the Harlequins having 2 rerolls left for the game. And now the second ghoul, Louis Lina, falling back into a safety position. A mummy takes a mark on the injured lineman, closest to the ball. Second mummy takes a mark on the prone lineman, number 9, Shrew. Is that our first rush of the game? Failed the first rush, re-rolled it, succeeded on the second rush. Here comes the blitz. 2-die blitz. Got double pals on the gutter runner. We'll see where the ball bounces. And a great stun to boot. Well, yeah, they don't really shamble in this game. Like, they've been trading. Set up the 2-die on the gutter runner. Spire hoping Blodge would save him, but not when you roll double pals. Turn 13. Fourth quarter begins. Final turn of this ball game. It is tied currently. Rodentia losing the ball here. Now needs to find a way to recover. There's a number of tackle zones between them and the ball. Pixels versus pixels. I don't think he actually has any actual skeletons on the roster. I think they're all zombos. Vonru says I'm hungry for some pancakes. We got plenty of games. I think we might see some pancakes later this evening. we might be eating well. Another failed rush. Spends the reroll. Rodentia down to 2. First reroll spent in this half by Spire. Gets a mark on the ball. Ten seconds left on the clock here. Rodentia with plenty of time on the bonus clock if he wants to take his time and figure out how to keep this ball safe and recover it. Wow, what a dodge. What a dodge. That was a 4+ and a 3+ on Shrew. Turn 13, back to the Harlequins. Keeping these mummies in the drive. Here they are. There's a mark on Gerbil. Gerbil, the injured lineman. Rush into a 3-die blitz. This will work out due to that block skill. There's a KO. Well done. Three-man player advantage now for Harlequins B.B.F.C. Block is great skill. Yeah. Block, I would consider one of the quote-unquote standard skills. Like, it is a solid skill for just about... Well, no, I would say it's a solid skill for every single team and for a number of pieces. Like, it is so ubiquitous because it's so good. Harlequins repositioning to try to have more pieces on the ball. Vol, the number 2 blitzer, moving downfield away from the ball. Ball's on Rodentia's own 6-yard line. Vol now down on the opposing 8-yard line. I don't know if is Cheerwine like an international brand, like the cherry soda. I love that. I went to the grocery store, stocked up on Cheerwine. I'm so happy. Spire YOLOing onto the ball here. Didn't see a better shot here. I think he got through a crazy dodge there, but now that gutter runner is going to eat a block, and there it is. Pushes on the ball. Ball's going to scatter into the into the hands of Gerbil, but blitz still on the table. Also, there's a block available. 6+ catch. 2-die block on Gerbil will work out. 8+ breaks armor. And now the ball's going to scatter to the 4. The perfect plan. Like an Ocean's 11 scene plays out. See, you'll block my gutter runner because you'll want to remove him from the pitch, and then you'll push him on the ball to get him out of this little scrum. But little will you know that Gerbil will be there to catch the ball with his sticky fingers gloves. Uphill blitz on Chinchilla, looking for the surf. Not gonna get it. Good attempt, though. Recovers the ball with the number 5 blitzer. The ball is now on Rodentia's own 12-yard line. Turn 15. Rodentia not out of this game. Good 2+ dodge to take a mark on that blitzer. That's that Blodger gutter runner. 3+ dodge into a 2-die blitz. Got a pow on the blitzer. We'll see where this ball goes. He doesn't want it going forward. And the ball's gonna scatter one space toward the right sideline. Scary spot for the ball now. Plenty of movement left with the blitzer. Rushes to pick it up. Works out through the sure hands. Scary spot for the ball because if it goes out of bounds, it'll be thrown back onto the pitch, and the throw can basically be anywhere. It's very scary. So Rodentia recovering here in turn 15, pulling players back, but he needs to have somebody in scoring position on this turn. Takes 2-die block with the Rat Ogre, gets a knockdown on Marcus Smith. Rat Ogre is now off that sideline, and then a 1-die block against Louis Lina gets a pow. Oh, is he in scoring position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's not. So he's not going to be able to score here. So he's playing for the draw. Harlequins B.B.F.C can still win this. But Rodentia can only get a draw out of this. Two-die blitz. A pow on the Rat Ogre. Blitzes to get movement. Boy, I think you just punt at this point. Good 3+ dodge. Gonna get the 2-die. Yeah, 2-die block here. Gets a knockdown on Gerbil. Gerbil's gonna stay in this game. Final turn. Rodentia playing for the draw. Stand up Rat Ogre blitz into a push. Oh boy, frenzy follow-up. Another push. He's freed up the sideline for the thrower. This it's not enough, but if he can protect the ball, it might just be too many actions for the Harlequins to win with, but we'll see. Going for the pass here. Good catch. Good catch. That's gonna be the ball game. 0-0. Runs that ball away. Well done by Spire here to recover at the last minute. Runs number 5 away to try to keep number 5 safe. Hard-fought game by both coaches. This is going to end in a draw, 0-0. Three-die blitz in the right wide zone. This will be a pow against number 4. Looking for some Kaz points. Got a stun. Oh, Modor, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. I absolutely love this game, and I love sharing it. I love sharing fun stuff. That's the game, 0-0. Well done again by both coaches. Really hard-fought game, well played, and this may sound odd to say, but a well-deserved draw there by Spire. Didn't overcommit on offense as the Skaven team, where he might find himself getting blocked down and losing players to the point where he can't keep the ball. Decided to retreat, was able to maintain control of that ball for long enough and have pieces in the right spot to when all was said and done, maybe overlooked the scoring attempt there at the end, but which is always a heartbreaker. But even regardless of that, was able to get that ball away from that scrum, get it to safety, and prevent the Harlequins from winning. So well played by both coaches. There's lots more Blood Bowl today. We'll take a look at standings first. There's Division B. So the Harlequins B.B.F.C. in third place after their second draw in this competition, and Rodentia picking up their first draw here. They're in 7th place now. Plenty of more weeks. It's a 9-week competition, and that's before the cut to top 4. And then, of course, we have a whole other competition, the Dungeon Bowl. That'll be an open competition as well before our final competition of the season, the Blood Bowl. That is the Invitational. Lots of Blood Bowl left tonight as well. So coming up next, so this will be the only break we take, and then we're watching 3 games. So coming up next will be I Want to Be Like Doug versus Mr. Yuck. That's Richard Cranium versus Wenger. That's going to be tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's UTC -4. So that's about 3 hours from now. And if you're unfamiliar, these times, these are when the games start. So we do a 10-minute pregame. So the pregame starts at 7:50, and that's just going over the rosters and how the teams might play. And then we start the stream 15 minutes before that. So the stream will actually start at 7:35 p.m. And the reason I do that is because I have been trained by movie theaters my entire life. Like, I hate going to the theater and, like, it says movie starts at 10, and it turns out the movie starts at 10:45 because it's all trailers. So that is the time the game starts. But we do have a 10-minute pregame before that, and then the stream will actually start 15 minutes before that to give people time to file in, and it's sort of as an identifier that, hey, we actually are going to have a game tonight. But anyway, we'll have that at 8 o'clock tonight, and then after that, we're going to kick over to Cenozoic Park versus Juxtaposed Juggernauts. That will start at 9 p.m. We might catch that at the very beginning. We might catch it, a little bit into the first half of the game, and then after that game, we have Stairway to Nuffle versus Street Fighter Turbo Max, El Nubarino versus Ian. That is scheduled for 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tonight. The first game, Richard Cranium versus Venger, that is Dwarf versus Nurgle. And then Cenozoic Park versus Juxtaposed Juggernauts, that is Lizards versus Chaos Renegades. And Stairway to Nuffle versus Street Fighter Turbo Max is Underworld versus, I think, Chaos Renegades as well. So plenty of more Blood Bowl coming up in just about 3 hours. Again, the stream will start in just under 3 hours, about 30 minutes. I hope you guys will come out and join us. I absolutely love this game. It's so much fun. It's so fun to play. Man, I just love it so much. I hope you guys love it too. One more game to get scheduled this week, of course, and when that game gets scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's maml.club. BB says, and I only got that your name is an Evangelion reference. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. maml.club. You can also check out schedules on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. You can even watch our previous games on our YouTube channel. Play Blood Bowl, man, it's so much fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox. And you can even play it in tabletop form at your friendly local game store until tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. EDT, just a few hours away. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. 3 more games tonight.